All right. So I guess now you understand what the plan was.
Absolutely. At Colts Law, we talk Indianapolis Colts football.
We're going to stick to what we know, fundamentals and technique, 1% better every day.
What's going on, Colts Nation? I'm Lawrence Owen. With me, as usual, is my boy, Loyalist. Yes, that's right. I feel like $1 million today. Oh my goodness, I feel good. Holy cow. This is the first time I felt this good in weeks. Thank you so much for all the well wishes and prayers over the last couple of weeks for me to get feeling better, because obviously they have worked and I am here. I am excited, and we get to break down a football game. Yes, that's right. We'll just call it an afternoon game, okay? This is going to be absolutely fun. And, because I don't have to sit here and worry about going all the time. This is freaking awesome. Yes, Lawrence is cracked out. I am excited. Thanks, Deep. Thanks, Toxic. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Don't forget to smash that like button. Hit subscribe if you're not subscribed, and tag that notification bell so that you are notified next time we go live or upload a video, because yes, I am ready to put up all sorts of stuff. Do we want to do this until midnight? I think I can do that. I probably won't. But,
I'm going to have some explaining to do with the missus, that's for sure.
Guys, this is going to be a fun game tomorrow, honestly. I'm really excited I'm as excited about this game as I was week 1 this year, right? Mm-hmm. Because of what this offense potentially can look like. And I really want to get down in the nitty-gritty of stuff. A lot of people have been running around. You've made some serious question marks when it comes to how people have talked about Sam Ehlinger and what he looks like, and blah, where they're talking about Jalen Hurts or something. And I just dawned on me, the perfect guy to compare him to is the guy he's facing this week. Taylor Heinicke. He is like a copy paste person. And look, Taylor's one of those guys who I was like, he's going to earn himself a starting job in the NFL at some point because of just how much effort he puts in, and the fact, but I'm not saying he's a great starting quarterback. Go look what happened against Green Bay. Okay. He threw so many bad passes, it wasn't funny. But on the flip side, his effort and the ability to extend plays and, things of what he does, the intangibles are there. And that's what I'm looking at when I'm comparing it to Sam Ehlinger. So what do you think?
I'll tell you right now, I do have that excitement. And the thing is, like you said, with Heinicke, he presents that team with just that spark, just that, that igniting mentality or whatever, that his guys play good for him. You know what I mean? So now Colts, O-line guys, let's get that energy. Let's get that excitement. And like you said, it's a totally different brand of football than what we've seen from Matt Ryan and being that pocket passer. Now, hopefully we're going to see more RPOs. Hopefully, get to sit there and help this run game really open up some lanes. So now you got JT to worry about. You've got Sam to worry about, not to mention the bubble sweeps and stuff. The level of excitement that could be going on today or tomorrow, I'm trying to be cautiously anxious because I don't want to put too much on Sam. Okay. I honestly believe he might come in and be a little nervous, be extra juiced, it's a home game, this is his comfort zone. Even during preseason, he performed really well here at the home. So go in there. I don't want him to be too tight though. I don't want, because he knows the reason he's where he's at now is because of turnovers. I don't want him to be going, okay, just so stiff and robotic, early on. I just want him to come in with this, let it rip. This is my one opportunity. I want to make the most of it. And then, like you said, be that spark plug for not just the team itself, but for everybody that's there. Man, I'll tell you now, it's definitely one of those games where I wish I was there for a different reason than what I would have wished, had the game played out the way we thought it would.
Absolutely. Now, guys, real quick, we're going to get into a lot of different things. We will talk about that deep in a moment. But first, I want to go over the injury reports for both teams so that we kind of got a basic idea of who's going to be out there. And first and foremost, the Indianapolis Colts, it is long. The list is long, but it's not fair. It's not fair to look at the whole list because we only got 3 guys are out and no one questionable. No one questionable. Just 3 guys out. Kwity Paye, which we already figured, being with the high ankle sprain, he's in the middle of recovery for that. Matt Ryan's got that separated grade 2 separated shoulder, and we already know he's not going to be playing anyhow due to the news that dropped earlier this week. And then Grant Stewart, the linebacker, has a pectoral muscle. This will be the second week, I believe, that he is out with that injury. But outside of that, everybody's healthy. Everybody has had full practices pretty much the entire week, except for Grover Stewart, who had some rest, and DeForest and guys who's had rest. Heinicke had some rest, But look, Shaquille Leonard's going to be out there. He's been full practice, buddy.
Yes, sir.
That's going to be freaking awesome. Zaire Franklin, we all know, had a little bit of a shoulder problem, but he's been full practice all week. He'll be playing. Kiki Kuti, he had that concussion, but he cleared that protocol on the first day of practice this week, and he's been full practice all week. Ryan Kelly, his knee seems to be doing pretty good because he's been full practice all last couple days. He only had limited practice the very first practice. JoJo Doman is even out there playing with that abdomen, and he's been full practice as well. This is as healthy as the Colts have been since opening freaking day. All right, maybe even more so.
Isn't Kenny Moore the second? Because I know Friday he was on there with the
He's questionable, yes. Right. I forgot about that.
Okay.
That was a new thing that just dropped on there from yesterday due to the – but look, a finger?
Yeah.
A finger's a finger. He's probably 99% go. They have to put questionable because he's not 100%. Okay. Yeah. But when you're a cornerback, you tape that bad boy up, maybe throw a little thing on there, and you're gone. Dude, I'll tell you right now. All right, I have talked to plenty of NFL cornerbacks, and they'll go with your whole hand. Look, y'all remember certain safeties going out there with nothing but a club? Yeah. All right. I think Kenny can do it with a busted finger.
Remember, what was it, last week or the week before, Bobby O had that broken – that he put back in and stuff. Yeah, I think if Kenny Moore sits there and doesn't play tomorrow, he may have a certain number 58 that he's going to have to explain himself to a little bit.
Absolutely. So now let's go into the actual Washington Commanders because there's some important people on this list. All right. Sadiq Charles, the guard, has an illness. He has not practiced. He had limited practice on Friday. He's questionable for the game. That's an important spot right there, okay? Sadiq is the starting right guard, okay? That's huge, huge. Now, on top of that, Jahan Dotson, the wide receiver, is out with a hamstring. Cole Holcomb, the starting middle linebacker, has a foot injury. He's out. That's big. He's going to be replaced by David Mayo. All right. Now, you can run through David Mayo. I'm telling you. All right. I've seen it plenty of times. William Jackson, cornerback. He's out. Mm-hmm. Cole Turner, the tight end, concussion. He's out. All right. You got another wide receiver, Diami Brown. He's questionable with a groin. Logan Thomas, who is a huge weapon at tight end, is questionable with a calf injury. If he can't go, that pretty much to me says that they have no weapons at tight end. Now, they still got 2 very good offensive weapons out there that have been playing their butts off. Obviously, we all know who they are, Terry McLaurin, Curtis Samuel. All right. But those are the 2 scariest weapons on top of the running back core, which I think really is underrated. People want to say, well, the Commanders don't have a running game. Look, Antonio Gibson is a solid running back. J.D. McKissick is a good 1-2 hitter to go with somebody. And their new running back, Brian Robinson, actually showed up against the Green Bay Packers last week.
Yeah. If he plays like he did against Green Bay, this defense is going to have to really buckle down because we don't want. I mean, we already said Heinicke's that spark play. You don't want him to have that run game to lean back on. Honestly, I feel like you're wanting to put all the pressure on him. You know what I mean? Because if they get this run game going, that's just going to open up so much for their offense, you know. And the thing is like you said with Logan, he's another guy that if he's not available, this offense, first off, Colts struggle with tight ends. You know what I mean? We've had our problems. We've gotten better, but we still have a history of having problems with tight ends. And so if he's a go, that to me is the biggest one that I'm really keeping an eye on, because like you said, with the right guard being questionable due to illness, even if he is playing, I can't imagine he's going to have a lot of gas in the tank. I would not want to be looking up every time and seeing DeForest Buckner, Grover Stewart, and Tyquan Lewis, you know, staring at me and going, oh, what a long day this is going to be.
Right? Well, I mean, you think about this. Okay, so with Logan Thomas misses this game, guys like Kenny Moore and Stephon Gilmore won't have to come off the wide receivers to cover tight ends. That's how the Colts have been covering tight ends this year.
Yeah.
That's how they've been able to stop them, you know.
And Bobby O, that'll free Bobby O up a lot more to assist in that run game also, you know, as far as stopping it.
Exactly. So, you know, that is a bigger you know, question mark right now than what anyone else I think is. Now, I get the middle linebacker is important for them, but because I mean he's without him, their linebacking core is trash. I mean, seriously, Washington's linebacking core without him is just absolutely trash. But hey, you know, we're going to also look at it doesn't need to be that great considering their freaking defensive front seven is good. Or their front four. Yeah. Their front four is really even without Chase Young, who, you know, ain't going to be out there, but still y'all watched the game last week against Green Bay, because Sweat, Payne, Allen, they are some monsters out there.
Yeah. And the thing is I think that's going to be honestly the tail of the tape for the rest of the season with the Colts is the trench wars. How does this O-line hold up against whatever, you know, defensive front they have? And like you said, they're 4 strong. It's not, oh, you know, they got one good end and one good, you know, it's 4 strong. These guys can bring the heat from all areas. I mean, they have like 4 or 5 guys with 3+ sacks. I mean, you cannot just sit there and say, okay, we need to be good at this spot or good at this spot. And that's where I'm like, Matt Pryor, you know, Dennis Kelly, come on, guys. You know, even you know, Ryan Kelly and Quentin and Braden. Let's go. You know what? Let's open up some daggone lanes. Let's get this run game going. Let's get Sam and the RPO going. And I'll tell you right now, this is going to be an enjoyable game to watch.
Absolutely. Now, we're speaking of what you just said, we're going to go way back up here in the chat where Deep Tail dropped, and I said I would get to that in just a moment. He says, can you talk about the RPO and how possibly it can help blocking for the O-line? Will it? I don't know. Okay, so for me, it should. 150% it should. With Sam Ehlinger sitting there using the RPO, that means that those pass rushers have to be a little bit, they have to kind of pause for a second, right? They have to make sure, did the ball just get handed off? Because if the ball just got handed off, then, well, crap, the running backs passed them, right? So they have to pay attention. Their best bet is to hit when the ball's being handed off to somebody, or like a hair before. But that takes all kind of timing. Okay. Yeah. So that's hard to do. So this should legitimately help in giving him just a little bit of, you know, putting that question mark in him. And Sam, the fact that he can run with the football as well. All right. That also is a huge help. So that, you know, when he does run the RPO, how does he sell it? He's got to look the same when he hands the football off as when he's carrying it himself or getting ready to pass the football. You know, he can't just, you know, hand the football off and then turn around and watch, you know, because that's a giveaway. All right. So when he hands the football off in the RPO, he's got to hand that football off, pull that sucker back in, and take off running. Even though he doesn't have the ball, he's got to pretend like he does and take off running with it. That way, the defenses have no idea who's got the ball until, you know, somebody's already breaking, you know, 2 tackles for a touchdown or something that.
Let's go.
Right?
Yeah, and not to mention, you know, I mean, this also helps set that offensive lineup and their blocking at the second level. You talked about it earlier. This linebacking core isn't the strength of this defense and stuff. So now if you sit there and with this RPO, you're allowing Ryan Kelly or Quentin Nelson get up to that second level. And that's whenever we're going to start hopefully getting to see some of those 6-yard runs turn into 15, 20-yard runs, or like you said with Sam. I mean, guys, you remember that preseason touchdown? What was it, like 60? Yeah, 64 or 66 yards. I wouldn't mind seeing one of those this weekend. I'll tell you that right now.
I think I'd rather see a Jonathan Taylor for 60, 70 yards personally, though. But I mean, no offense to Sam.
Well, I just want Sam to get that confidence. You come out there and being that juiced up and stuff. Yeah, he can do that the first play, and then JT can do it the second drive. How's that?
Absolutely. Now, if we get that running game going, that's going to free up a lot. Okay.
Oh, yes.
With something we haven't really been able to do all year is get the running game going with the RPO. If we can get that running game going with the RPO, that means the passing lanes will free up a little bit. They will be more worried about crowding that than worrying about, stopping the pass. And that's what I want to see. I want to see one-on-ones out there. I don't want to see double teams on our wide receivers and tight ends. Okay. Hey, let's not forget, he does have connection with at least one guy out there. All right. Yeah. He may not have thrown to him for a while, but him and Kylan Granson's thrown the ball to, back and forth plenty of times before they even got to college.
Okay? Yeah. And with the way they were rotating the tight ends around, I would argue that he got a lot more reps than some of your Alec Pearson and Michael Pittman Jr. also just in training camp and stuff. And the thing is, you think about the size of Pearson and Pittman Jr. against this secondary. That's a huge, huge win for the Colts because, not only are with the body control and getting up in here, I'm excited to sit there and see, can we get a play or two, where we're drawing up, Sam dropping, the 25, 35 yard type passes and let's let the receivers do what they do best and high point and just out physical the corners and stuff. You start doing that, and my goodness, can you imagine what the stadium's going to be like and stuff? I mean, that place is going to be electric.
Absolutely. Sierra Lee, great question. How good is the Commanders' run D? Now, like I said, their linebackers are not the strength of their defense. They give up 4.6 yards per carry. Ladies and gentlemen, if our offensive line could just block for a little bit, we're going to make that look a lot worse. All right. Because Jonathan Taylor, Nyheim Hines can run the football. Yeah. All right. 4.6 yards as a team defense, not good. The Colts, 4.1 sitting right now. 4.1. That's pretty darn solid. 4.6, not so much. Okay. So I think that now their pass rush is good. Their pass rush is really, really good. Okay. Yes, but so we got to establish that is so important, establishing the run early against this team. And in order to do so, come on, guys. Come on, Frank. Let's get these two running back formations to where Hines isn't sitting in the slot like where you wanted to in the year. Let's get some, pro T formations or offset I or I formations or any. I don't care. Let's run 31 concept. All right. Let's have 3 running backs back there at the same time. That'll confuse the snot out of some people. Even Ron Rivera be like, what is this?
3 running backs and Sam Ehlinger. All of a sudden, you're just like, okay, just follow one of these guys. Everybody pick a number.
It'd be like one of them people over there, on the street corner with the cups, and the ball, and just be like, pick a cup, pick a cup, pick a cup. Somebody's got the ball.
Yeah, and I'll tell you right, this run game going, get this offensive line. That gets them pumped. That gets them juiced. That gets them more momentum or whatever you want to call it. Because let's be honest, these guys we haven't got it going from the offensive line like we've needed to this year. Get this going, open up some of them lanes, get JT going. I mean, honestly, this is another situation where you want to help out your young quarterback and leave as many options on that table as possible. And like you said, you got Jelani Woods and you've got Molly Cox and Colin Granson. And this isn't even the strength of this game. This isn't even the part that excites me the most because I want Shaq Leonard and this amazing defense and getting him out there and stuff. Super pumped to see what that is. Hopefully he'll be able to go out there and smash some of these plays just like we want you guys to smash the like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Ring that bell so you're notified. And if you got a minute, share it out and let them know that we're here. Because I'm telling you right now, guys, I want to get this place packed tomorrow. It's a late game. Everybody, join us in the Discord and stuff, and let's bring this new Sam Ehlinger, era in the right way. If you can't make it to the game, let's go.
That's kind of funny, Hurst. It's kind of funny. All right, so real quick, we're 20 minutes in. I'm going to go ahead and get this out of the way now. All right, we're going to go ahead and get our little ads spread out of the way. While I'm doing that, if you want to share this to your favorite social media or whatever it is you need to do, go ahead and please do so. But hey, thanks everybody. There's 30 of you in here. I'll see you in about 1 minute. This video is sponsored by Newsbreak. Newsbreak is an app used over 1.5 billion times a month by people just like you to get local news via articles or videos by those who are focused on that specific area. People like myself. Just use the link in the description of this video to download it. Then search a city, state, or someone specific, like myself, Colts Law. Then make sure to follow them so you'll get all the news fresh as it comes out. This channel is proudly sponsored by the Backroom Collection. They do beautiful sports canvas art with football, basketball, baseball, and other sports themes. Special orders are accepted and autograph pieces are available. Many Indianapolis Colts sign pieces will be available beginning in November. Just use your discount code CL10 to purchase the pieces you want to spice up your living area. That's CL10. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. That is the Backroom Collection. I love the Backroom Collection. They are awesome, man. They've got some really great stuff, including, my Defoe poster. He is so freaking awesome. They got some amazing Jonathan Taylor posters. They've got Michael Pittman. You go check it out, man. I think I might have to tell them, hey, you're going to have to put out a Sam Ehlinger poster. You're going to sell some. All right. I'm sure it'll happen once all I got to do is reach out because I am that guy. All right, guys, 37 of you. Appreciate each and every one of you. Let's go in here and check out the comments because, look, I've still got a few things we need to discuss, especially because we really haven't talked about our defense a whole lot. But, yes, he is Migsby. He will be on a snap count, though, which is fine with me. Perfect. Getting him out there for any amount of time is good, especially against a team that, had, I think, 10 turnover worthy plays, 10 against the Green Bay Packers. Holy smokes. That is crazy. So
Shaq, get in there. My guy, get about 15 plays. We expect 2 turnovers. Let's get this show started. Let Colts Nation remember what it is we've been missing all year long.
Oh, no kidding. And you know what? And I called this before. Remember when I said that I think it was against the Titans. I said, look, DeForest is going to have himself a game that game.
Oh, yes.
Because of that situation of, their guard wasn't playing at that time. Dude, I'm thinking Grover will probably have a heck of a game this game. Yeah. I think Grover against a backup right guard, that's not good.
Grover against their starting lineup. I think he what was it? 12 tackles last week. That was just outstanding. And that's from a legit defensive tackle. And I really, you mentioned Defoe, and I love the way that Bradley has started moving him around. And now we're seeing these opportunities because of Grover playing so well that now Defoe's not always double and triple team. Now Defoe's finding himself in some one-on-one situation. Sometimes it's out on the edge. And let's be honest, Defoe's one of those guys. He can span all 4 spots on that D line.
Absolutely. And look, our defensive line right now is top 10 in just about everything. About everything. It's sacks, pressures, quarterback hurries, knockdowns. The Colts defensive front, it's been amazing. And all this stuff. And we're only been blitzing, I think it was 16.8% of the time, which is the 5th lowest in the NFL. Yep. The 5th lowest, which means he's blitzing more than he did last year because he was the worst blitzing defensive coordinator last year for the Raiders.
Yeah, and it also means that we're blitzing a lot more than what we did last year as well.
Yeah, absolutely, because we were second worst. second or third, something like
Yeah.
that. So yeah, so we're actually using our blitzes. I mean, y'all saw Kenny come off the edge last week, get a big sack. You know, he's when it comes to nickel corners, he's since he's been in the league, he's got the second most sacks of any cornerback in the NFL. That's nuts. That's nuts.
Yeah, and I'll tell you guys right now, Heinicke, he's more susceptible. Okay, he's got some physical mobility and stuff, but if you can get inside his head, there again, I honestly, the secondary could eat, especially in the second half, if we can get a lead. Let's get a lead. Let's try having a lead in the first half and just see how that feels for a change. What do you guys say?
First things first, we got to stop the run game. All right, DeForest and Grover and Taekwon, Unique, Zaire, Shaquille, all you guys out here, you need to step up and play very good against the run, okay? Because in doing that, that's going to allow that front four of ours to get some pressure in the passing game. All right, stopping the run is so important against Washington wants to run the football. All right, when Taylor is at quarterback, period. All right, so don't allow him to do it. Just don't allow him to do it. Screw this whole, oops, we missed our assignment here in our spot and allowed the dude to run 25 yards past us. The last 2 weeks, our run defense has had little tiny holes here and there, right, where they missed their assignment. And I think this is that week where I think that we get that fixed a little bit because – look, as much as I like, their running backs on this team, they ain't none of them named Derrick Henry. All right.
Yeah.
Not a single one of them got Derrick or Henry in their name. So I'm good. I think we can handle this. All right. So let's get that started. Let's get that that part of the game on lockdown so that we could help the rest of our team. Because absolutely, it's about field position. We don't want to let them have the ball all the way to the 50 and then punt it because we don't want to put Sam Ehlinger in a hole in starting field position the whole night in bad situations. Okay, let's give him good situations, good field position, so that he could get some confidence early and often in this game.
Yeah, and Sam, like I said, you don't have to be a superhero. Just keep the chains moving. Give this D time to rest, guys. I don't know if any of you guys are Notre Dame fans like I am, but I am telling you right now, I would not mind seeing this game start out like that Notre Dame first play of the game. Notre Dame pick six. Get that lead and just sit there and set the tone and let them know that it's going to be a long day at the office.
Absolutely, absolutely, guys. Don't forget to smash that like button. Hey, let's see here. Who's covering who? That's the question. All right, because frankly, I don't think that Washington has the cornerbacks to cover our receivers, period, or linebackers to cover our tight ends. I think our offensive weapons are actually better than Washington's. A lot of people want to argue with me about that. I think our weapons are better. All right, they have two good weapons right now. Right, they got Samuel and they got that one dude.
Yeah,
that one dude that everybody on the Colts wished it was on the Colts because he's a Colt native. Right, he's an Indiana native. Terry McLaurin, my guys.
Yeah, and also, I mean, Dotson not being there, him being their number 3 target and stuff. That's there again. That is something that aids into your point. That I mean, you look at Paris Campbell, you look at Michael Pittman Jr., Alec Pierce. You mentioned the tight ends. I would argue that Kylan Granson and Jelani Woods, both of those guys give you 2 different flavors at the tight end spot. And we haven't even mentioned JT and Naheem. So, like you said, pass catchers. I think we're much deeper, much more diversified and stuff. Don't get me wrong. Honestly, it is a close battle for it's your flavor as far as Michael Pittman Jr. or Terry McLaurin. If you were going to say who's the better wide receiver, honestly, I think it's a preference thing. Do you like the big physical guy?
They have almost identical freaking.
I know, right? Yeah. And like I said, I'm not sitting there saying that they're the same receiver, but the production for the team and stuff that they've been in. And if I'm not mistaken, Michael Pittman Jr. has done that with less attempts than Terry McLaurin has this year.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I'm not even talking about this. Since Michael Pittman came in last year, they have nearly identical stats.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Since they came in last year. All right, now obviously Terry's got a little bit longer in the annual being here in the NFL, but still, since he's been here, they have nearly identical stats, which is kind of interesting. And we all know Paris Campbell the last couple games has been blowing it up. He's got 17 catches. His catch percentage is through the roof. He's getting open on quick short routes, which is nice. And he's going to need that with Sam. And then, if by chance you need a 50-50 ball, so far the two guys that are the best at 50-50 have done it. I mean, for whoever's throwing them the 50-50 ball up there, whether it's Pittman, whether it's Pierce, they're doing it just fine. And we've talked about Kylan Granson being that security blanket, right? Mm-hmm. And look, Kylan's been a security blanket for this team since week 3. Since week 3, he's been a security blanket for Matt Ryan. If you think he's been a security blanket for him, imagine when he was his high school quarterback now is there. I mean, come on. He's definitely going to get some targets in this game.
Yeah, and that's the thing. How quick does this offensive line give the running game and Sam the time that he needs? And secondly, how long does it take Sam to get, first off, shake off the nerves? I mean, this is his first real life, snaps as an NFL quarterback, not just even a backup. He's the starter. So I got to imagine, no matter how calm and cool he seems, it's sort of that duck scenario. I think, outside you're going to see a calm, collected guy, but inside he's got to be racing, and that's going to affect maybe a couple of those early throws and stuff. But how long does it take him to get past that point and sit there and like you said, start building this chemistry and the thing is with Taylor Heinicke, we know there's film on him. You can look and you can get a really good idea of what he looks like. And it's respectable. Like you're talking about a UDFA that's come out and trying to earn that legit next contract and stuff and has a really good argument for that. Okay. But then you look over here at Sam and it's like, preseason, you can't sit there and tell me you're going to look at anything that he put out on the field last offseason because it's night and day. We talked about that. Sam came in from last year to this year, and it's like, oh, let's go. So it's going to be a lot harder to plan for that unknown factor with Sam.
Yeah, the only difference is, and I'm gonna push back a little bit here. All right, Sam does not have that much of it. Last year, his arm was awful. Last year, Sam's arm, throwing power wise, was worse than Phillip Rivers or Matt Ryan's today, right? With the shoulder separation. I mean, it was bad. His throwing power was awful last year. This past offseason, he has increased that throwing power. How much? I can't tell you. I have yet to see him throw past 35-ish yards, I think it was, during training camp. But those 35-yard passes weren't looking too bad, right?
No, that ball was definitely jumping off of his hand looking. Yeah. And honestly, Sam was one of those guys that really made it, that and watching the kicker battle, But, I mean, those were two things where you hear people say, oh, you can see the ball jump off. You could, I mean, honestly, guys, you could see the difference. I went back and was looking at some of the stuff I had recorded from the year prior, and I'm like, yeah, it's the same dude, he's the same guy. But I mean, and the thing is, Matt Ryan, just, to defend Matt Ryan on that part, he did have a separated shoulder from the second quarter on, and so that. But
I'm just saying, Sam's throwing power, we have yet to know what he looks like throwing it further than 30 yards. I mean,
and accuracy.
With accuracy.
That was, that's something else that he had improved in that you and I talked about going to training camp. It's like, okay, that ball's not just leaving his hand, but he's putting it in nice spots, So
yes.
Just keep doubling down, keep growing, my guy. You don't have to win this game. Like I said, running game, step up.
Defense.
Receivers, tight end, when you get the opportunity, catch the ball, no drops. Don't put Sam under any unneeded pressure because you know what? This dude's got the weight of a city and a weight of organization on his shoulders right now. He shouldn't, but he does. And the thing is I can't wait to sit there and watch him start feeding off the crowd and stuff, and then just sitting there and start get that swag, starting to get that Texas vibe, you know, where he's comfortable and he's feeling good and he's got that momentum. If Sam gets to that point where you start seeing him with the rhythm and the flow, I'm telling you right now, it will be hard to stop him with the weapons and stuff that he has around him.
There's a lot of people in here in the chat talking about, well, you know, Matt couldn't even throw it 25 yards. How short our memories are of that, what,
Game
30?
winner?
Yeah, the game winner to Pierce. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a very hard throw to make that he had made, and he pinpointed that sucker. So it's not like he doesn't have an arm. It's just it is, man.
And I said my piece on that yesterday. Like I said, that's sort of the narrative, and I don't like it. And oh well. So today is about the guys that are playing and stuff. And guys, I'm telling you right now, as much as I'm excited to see this offense and stuff, I honestly, I don't know about you, Lawrence, but I really do feel like we're going to win this game with our defense. Our defense is going to put a stamp on this game. You know, they're going to be just as hyped to have Shaquille, you know, back and stuff. And we haven't even mentioned that you're going to have some royalty there because this is Ring of Honor for my guy Tarek Glenn. You know what I mean? One of the OGs, you know, and the thing is you're going to have the Peyton Mannings and the, you know, the Robert Mathises, and just, I mean, there's going to be a lot of eyes that have put some blood, sweat, and tears down for this organization. And I would argue that a lot of these young guys understand what that means to this organization, and they're going to take a little bit extra pride in tomorrow's game.
He couldn't put anything on that ball. He was being hit as he threw it. He didn't put anything on that ball when he threw that football. He got hit low, and he was falling backwards when he threw it. He couldn't even step into the ball, or the throw. So no. Just saying. All right. But I'll tell you what, here's something. Look, have I seen Sam throw it further than 30 yards? Yes. I've seen him throw it further than 30 yards. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the accuracy and throwing power with it. I've seen him throw 40, 45 yards, but they were rainbows. I mean, the ball was up there for half an hour. Okay. Those are the kind of passes I'm a little worried about. Okay. But if he could rope it a little bit better, if he could throw a 40-yard pass, roping it, that would be amazing to see, because that means you'll be able to utilize someone like Paris Campbell on deeper throws, you know, or Alec Pierce on a deeper throw. That's what I'm worried about, you know. That's what I'm excited about, because if you're going to throw that big old arc, that means that ball's going to stay up in the air. And yes, I get the high arc might be good, except when there's safeties out there, you know. When there's safeties out there, they're just watching. Could you imagine if either Rodney was out on the field and saw a rainbow pass out in the outfield? All right. We've already seen what happens, right? They get up underneath of it and get their hands on the football. And we don't want to see that on big rainbow passes. Yeah.
And this, like I said, and I cannot iterate this. I mean, this is a game where you need your player makers to make plays for your young quarterback. You need your playmakers when they have opportunities, like Toxic say, you know, throwing that high ball. I get it. You know, Michael Pittman Jr., Alec Pierce, when you go up to, you know, you got to win those matchups. You've got to win those 50-50 balls, you know, and I'm telling you right now, this will tone down as this game 2 and game 3. But right now, you just need to let him get acclimated, let him get the feel, let him get that lather going, and just let the football player in him, you know, come out. Because, guys, whenever that starts happening, that's when Sam's going to be his most electric, whenever he's out of his head and more of just playing in rhythm and stuff.
If Sam started last year, I would have put a paper in saying that everybody in the front office should be fired. Everybody. The water boy, the trash man, the whole team should be fired if Sam started last year, because we had wide receivers that were better quarterbacks than Sam on the team last year. I mean, he was bad last year. Okay. He's made very good improvement this past offseason, which is why I am good with the change at quarterback right now. Right.
And I see Video Boss says Sam is in. I hope you're right. I'll tell you right now. But I would rather him ease into being him and just, let's let him just be Sam and work his way into it. Let's get towards the end of the season when he's finding his himness, or whatever you want to call that.
Yeah. I mean, he could have been back. Look, fact of the matter is, Sam was really bad last offseason. This past offseason, he looked a lot better. Both things can be true. Okay. It doesn't happen a lot where one offseason a quarterback improves that much. Mm-hmm. But we saw it from Sam this past offseason. And that's what is making me go, this might be the move for the Colts, right? That is good. It is a smart move for Indy.
Yeah, and let's get some QB. I mean, I see in here you got where to go. Oh, yeah. Toxic sits there and says, let's get some QB runs. I want them to be design runs. I know Sam can do things outside of extending the play and stuff, but I really want to see some of these design QB runs. And because that is also going to be something now you can't just sit there and go, oh, JT's in the backfield. That's all I got to worry. No, now you sit there and you start giving them other things to think of. And just that little bit of doubt, that little bit of hesitation, JT and this offensive line can use that to hopefully, shoot this thing off.
Absolutely. All right. So, guys, we got 43 people in here. Appreciate each and every one of you. Smash that like button. We are going to do who do you think's covering who? Do you think we're going to honestly, I would run a lot. It's tough. You can't run a lot of man against Taylor. Mm-hmm. Taylor, he's one of those guys that has no qualms with running the football. None. Yeah. And he will do it, right? So that's, if you do run man, you got to have a spy on him, right? You have to have a linebacker or a safety spy on Taylor. I always have it's Taylor.
Yeah.
It's a mess. I always mix those two names up for some reason.
I've been throwing Dion in place of Darius and everything else. I'm just going to sit here and hope that, they realize who we're talking about.
Absolutely. But yeah, I this is a situation where I wouldn't mind running some man, but when you do, make sure you got a spy on him. Okay. Mm-hmm. Because I think the only guy that I'm worried about against man is Terry. Okay. I like their other receiver in Curtis Samuel. He's a little quick, good, slot guy. But honestly, Terry's a good receiver. Very, very solid. So, but we don't want to play zone coverage against this because Terry and Samuel will find those spots every time.
Absolutely.
Every stinking time.
Yeah, this is definitely a game where I would like to sit there and see that we've seen it trending where, Isaiah Rodgers Sr. is getting a little bit more snaps and a little bit more snaps over face. This is one of those games, like you said, with those two wide receivers alone, you're going to want to have that extra speed on the field. And the thing is Terry McLaurin, I honestly, if you're not putting a safety over the top and at least cheating his way, hello, whoa, why are we not doing this? You know what I mean? Yeah, it's like, please, let's give that young man a little extra attention because, as much as we're hyped and stuff, can you imagine how he's feeling? This is his hometown, and now he's going to come out and get his chance to shine. And it's not like, it's not like he gets to do that because he's part of the AFC or the AFC South. It's not something he's going to have as many opportunities to do. So this is going to be a game where, I can see him wanting to get in touches early and often.
This is a game where I think you could really hurt him by throwing some really odd looking looks at him. Yeah, he's played for a year, but do some stuff like what Baltimore and the Titans do. And I know a lot of you don't like hearing those teams' names, but line up 7-8 guys on that line and have them all standing.
Bubblegum defense, just where you can't tell who's dropping, who's coming. I got you. Yeah.
Let's do that a few times, see what happens. All right. Because we got speed to where they can, those that are dropping back can drop back and into their coverage properly, and guys like Rodney Thomas or Julian Blackman or Rodney McLeod or even Nick Cross, if he's out there, I think they'd love to have an opportunity to go up in there into that bleed and go, you know what? Let's go get ourselves a sack, you know?
Yeah. And you mentioned you're talking speed about the attribute, but there's a guy I think could have an opportunity. You know, we've seen he's really good at shadowing those quarterbacks. You were talking about earlier. Let's bring him in there, you know, and he's got that speed and he's got that size that whenever, you know, you see Heinicke take off, I get you want, you know, 11-on-1 type of thing with your defense, but that number one guy better be AJ Speed at least a few times and keep your discipline, keep your blitz discipline. You know what I mean? We're going to get opportunities and stuff where this defense is going to be like, oh, let's eat, you know, and the thing is I still don't want to give up the edge. Keep that edge, keep your gap integrity and stuff, and understand that if you don't get there, the next guy will.
Here's something for you. Let's not have empty rollouts or, you know, things like that. Let's have actual bootlegs.
Mm-hmm.
And look, I mean, Quentin Nelson loves to pull. Have him pull for real, you know, and run a bootleg so that he's a lead blocker out there for Sam on one of those bootlegs out towards the right, you know, and that would be awesome because, I mean, nobody wants to see the right guard we have right now pull out, you know, and do that because that's just a scary thought. But Quentin's really, really good at it. So I wouldn't mind seeing that happen.
Plus, if you move that and even, you know, just roll it, move the pocket. You know what I mean? I understand that it shortens your field as far as what you have. But the thing is move your pocket. Let your 6'1" quarterback have a cleaner vision and stuff and trust, you know, and just trust what he's seeing a little bit more because, you know, I get it. He's not this little tiny gnat kind of guy, but he is undersized with these hosses in front of him. And the thing is if you're going to, you know, have him drop back until your offensive line shows that they can give steady, consistent protection. I think, you know, moving that pocket a little bit, you know, making them guys work extra hard to get to there. You know, I mean, like you said, the offensive line knows that's happening. It makes their job much easier versus sitting there and trying to hold the pocket and just deal with whichever way he chooses afterwards.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're talking about it when you're moving the pocket around a little bit. I mean, that's also, you're right. You're going to be wearing that defense down because they're running longer distances, right? And on top of that, you cannot play Sam the way you play a Phillip Rivers or a Matt Ryan or a Peyton Manning or whoever. You know, you need to be able to get him out of that pocket, let him open up a little bit and see. You're talking about, you know, moving the pocket. I say just kind of wedge the pocket so that the guys can't get to him. Get a nice edge seal and let him just run. Right, and run around and figure out something to do. This is going to be a fun game. It'll be interesting to see. I want to see some of these concepts. 20% of the playbook will be completely different for Sam Ehlinger with Frank Reich at head coach, calling up the plays, designing plays for him. It's going to be really fun to see some of these plays that happen. I want to know. Drop your game predictions, score predictions in the chat right now. Appreciate each and every one of you. While you're doing that, Loyalist is going to talk about something.
I wanted to talk to you about, can you let these guys know it's holiday time? You know, things coming around. It's the weather's now allowing this to be worn without feeling like, you know, anywhere you can tell them where they could get stuff like that.
Where did you get? Come check out the Colts Law merch shop. New items added every week. All sorts of items. From clothing to cups to cozies to backpacks, hats, just miscellaneous items that you can get around the house, even phone covers. Just check it out. Let me know. Send me a message. Hey, is there something that I'm missing? Feel free to ask. Have a good one. All right, we already got someone in here. Gardaki says 36-16 Colts. Wow. I'll take that today and tomorrow.
That would be outstanding. Colts score the most points offensively although I guess you don't know if those are all offensive points, but you know, I get it. Most points for the year. That'd be outstanding.
Let's hear yours there, Loyalist.
All right, guys. I'm a little bit more of, I want to see what we get from Sam. Okay. the nerve. Whoa, okay. The nerves and stuff, for Sam. I want to give him time to settle that down. I want him to find his rhythm. I'm not so sure that we're going to be able to light it up. I mean, how much help, like I said, can we get a defensive score in this game? That would go a massive way to really helping this out. But for me, with these two defenses, until I see more from the offensive line, and just let's see what Sam gives, I say the Colts win this one. But I think it's going to be one of those more uglier, grind them out games, like a 19-16, 17-13, type of game. I think we're going to see some field goals, I think our punting game is going to be important. We need Hawk to have a much better day at punting the ball than what we saw last week.
30 yards a punt.
Yeah, fortunately, last week was the outlier. Up till then, he'd been doing a fantastic job. But I do think that this defense is really going to come out, set the tone. The fans are going to be there, lighting this thing up. And Sam, it's just going to take Sam a little bit of time. But like I said, I could see a 19-13, a 19-16 type of game.
All right, so I've already established what mine's going to be over on Believe in Colts, as you all know. But I will I'm trying to remember what it was. 27-14.
Yep.
I believe is exactly what I predicted, and I'm going to stand by that. But I'm going to tell you something right now. We're going to get at least 10 points off turnovers. All right?
Yep.
At least 10 of those points will be off turnovers. So that's why I'm saying the Colts win and win as well as they do.
Now, and I'll tell you right now, first defensive score wins. Okay, I'm telling you that right now, because I think once that happens, either team is going to really be able to grind this thing down, because that lead is going to be a big thing in here. That's going to be a big factor in this game. That's
Absolutely.
why I want to see the Colts get an early lead.
Absolutely. Well, guys, thanks again. Please smash that like button. I haven't looked to see what it's sitting at right now, but I appreciate each and every one. If you haven't done it yet, do so. Make sure you're here around 3:45 Eastern Standard Time. We will be here preparing to start, doing the coverage of the game. Hope to see you then. And, of course, we'll be dropping our links to our Discord at that time as well, so you can watch the same game that we're reacting to. Mm-hmm. And until next time, I'm Lawrence Owen. That's Colts Loyalist. And as usual, have a good one.
Speak it into existence, video boss.
Just because a player's not a household name doesn't mean we can't make him a household name.
Let's not expect too much out of Sam. All right. I mean, you got to remember it is his first game. But, hey, we got to get him started off right. All right. We'll get him started off really, really well. Some easy, quick passes, some good RPOs, things of that nature. And then once the train starts rolling, it's going to be really hard to stop. Have a good one.